The judge presiding over Donald Trump's January 6th prosecution, as I've said, persecution, is named Tanya Chutkin. Believe me, she's no Tanya Tucker. She doesn't sing to a pleasant tune. Yesterday, she set Trump's trial for March 4th of 2024. That is one day before Super Tuesday, when most Republicans will go to the polls and choose a primary candidate. She is someone not only dislikes whites, I've dealt with her myself, she went after a fellow judge, Trevor McFadden, because he asked a simple question to the Justice Department. Why are you prosecuting January 6 protesters and not Black Lives Matter? In fact, he wasn't letting the January 6 protesters off the hook. In fact, like the rest of the establishment judges over there, whether they're Obama, Clinton, or Bush, or in fact Trump appointed, they are persecuting those January 6 protesters. I think the judges fear for their own safety and welfare because the American people have had it. They see how corrupt our legal system is. They want these people put away, whether they're peaceful or not. They make them get down on their knees with forced confessions, as if this were Iran, North Korea, Russia, or you know where. And this is an outrage. But Tanya Chutkin has made statements which are on their face highly biased and prejudicial towards President Trump. In a recent sentencing, she told one of the January 6th defendants that he was paying the price for what President Trump had done. And unfortunately, President Trump is still free on his own recognizance. Well, she's going to make sure that he's no longer free, believe me. And along with a DC jury, which will be a hanging jury because DC is ultra leftist, he will most certainly be convicted in the District of Columbia. But here's my question, and it's been the case throughout with regard to who President Trump hires as his lawyers. Why aren't his lawyers immediately moving to disqualify Judge Chutkin? Why are they just allowing President Trump to talk about it? Why aren't they going up to the DC District, the DC Circuit Court of Appeals? Granted, very leftists probably won't do it, but then go to the Supreme Court if necessary. This is textbook bias and prejudice coming from an extrajudicial source, from a judge who not only hates Trump, but frankly, who hates whites. And you can take a look at her record. I'm not exaggerating that. She's a reverse racist. That's what she is. So ask yourself why that's the case. Because the president's lawyers, many of them who have represented him, are more concerned about their own standing in the legal community than President Trump. They don't want to anger Chutkin. They don't want to anger fellow judges in that courthouse. So they recommend half measures to the president. And that's been President Trump. That's been true throughout. When President Trump was being surveilled illegally by the intelligence agencies, none of his lawyers brought a lawsuit against the NSA and CIA and FBI like I did, where I got 2 preliminary injunctions years ago during the Obama administration. Because lawyers notoriously protect themselves before their client. There's an old adage, don't go to jail with your client. You can see that many of the lawyers who actually did stick their neck out to some degree, like Giuliani, like Sidney Powell, John Eastman, they're on their way likely to jail. So this is, and not justly, I might add, but because the Bidens control the Justice Department, the Democrats control the legal system, and they want to quash all dissent from lawyers or anybody else, bar associations in the District of Columbia doing the same thing, highly leftist. Even one of them, a communist, who sat on a panel involving me. I've been fighting them for years. So have other conservative Republican lawyers. So this is the real story here. And President Trump needs to get legal counselors who are not afraid. He needs to take action in a very aggressive way to get rid of this Judge Chutkin. She is poison. She is bad news. She has no business sitting on this case. And now they gave her an opportunity to set the trial date for March 4th of 2024. And with all the other criminal prosecutions and civil cases that Trump has to deal with, he may win the primary. But frankly, it's doubtful he'll win a general election because of the sheer time and expense and the fact that the left will use this to influence independent voters by lying to them, claiming that President Trump has committed crimes. This is where we are. The people who have committed crimes, they're people like Chutkin. And we will take her in front of a citizens' grand jury. We will seek her indictment. We will try her and other judges like that in the District of Columbia, which has become a corrupt cesspool the most corrupt court in this country is the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia and its appellate court, the D.C. Circuit. There's not one judge on either of those courts that has any real degree of integrity. I mean to say that, but I'm a lawyer of 46 years. I've had an experience. So let me get to Hunter Biden now. Hunter Biden goes out and rents a home in Malibu, California for $15,000 a month. Where do you think that money's coming from? That money is coming, in all likelihood, from the illegal bribery schemes that his father Joe and his uncle James put into action, a criminal racketeering enterprise. Will the Justice Department seek to block the use of those funds in that way? No, they won't. They won't do that because Biden controls the Justice Department. But in fact, the fruits of the poisonous tree, so to speak, the illegal activity is giving rise, whether it's through that or art sales to people that want to influence President Biden, to use the term loosely, President Biden, because I believe he was fraudulently elected. The fruits of that illegal activity now are supporting a very rich lifestyle for Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden deserves to be in prison, in a maximum security prison, without the ability to take drugs, snort cocaine, or whatever the case may be, which is his obviously way of life, or go to prostitutes or whatever the case may be, child pornography. He doesn't deserve to be in a $15,000 a month home in Malibu. And the fact that the Republicans would sit around and watch this happen without invoking some kind of legal procedure other than their show hearings tells you the state of the nation, because they do similar things with selling influence and making a lot of money at the public trough. So this is my message for today. The American people need to rise up. We need to peacefully and legally take our legal system into our own hands. We need to mete out justice ourselves, again, peacefully and legally. We've done that by convicting Joe Biden, Hunter Biden and James Biden of bribery. He's going to be sentenced. They're going to be sentenced on September 7th. Tune in to freedomwatchusa.org and also our YouTube channel, Watch What Goes On, because we are representing the interests of the American people, because the Republican Party simply won't do it. And nor is there a legal system that has enough integrity to hold these criminals accountable. We, the American people, must now do it on our own. And please contribute with tax-deductible contributions. We need to get bigger. We need more lawyers. We need more paralegals. We need more office space. We need more resources to be your Justice Department, because the only Justice Department that you have in terms of government has been turned into a Hitler-esque Gestapo. God bless you. God bless America. Remember, the Father and Son will only help us if we help ourselves. I'll be back tomorrow with another special podcast. Until then, thank you for listening to me.